Hey guys, it's Viewmasters Reactions, and we're back with the Q&A for Season 2, Episodes 1 through 3 for The Legend of Vox Machina, the animated show on Amazon Prime. That sounded like a lot. This came out last week. I totally forgot about the Q&As. I had so much content that I was doing between this and The Last of Us and the normal stuff, and Patreon is going nuts. I feel like Patreon's been the biggest it's ever been. But Episodes 1 through 3 came out last week. I love the Q&As. I see Mika Burton is still the host. She was the host last year. Every week we'd get our block of 3 episodes. Today is Friday morning, and it dropped about 47 minutes ago. Part 2, episodes 4 through 6. I'm going to do back-to-back. They're about an hour each, so I'm going to do the Q&A for episodes 1 through 3. Then I'm going to jump right into the Q&A for episodes 4 through 6. And then we'll only have about 3 hours left before we get into episodes 7 through 9 that are coming out tonight at 7 p.m. Those episodes will go up immediately on Patreon. I do the first one, then I edit it, then I watch the other 2, throw them up on Patreon, then I try to get the edits out for those 2 before I go to sleep. We know what happened in episodes 1 through 3. I'm looking at this like one big giant recap of the last 6 episodes. Let's just jump in. You guys want to see more of what I do, full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons added, what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you only see on Patreon. The link is at the end. If the link doesn't work, it's in the description of every video. Both seasons of The Legend of Vox Machina in full unedited. We got the hour Patreon exclusive of every episode of Campaign 2. We're getting into episode 50 this week. Live stream tomorrow. 7:45 I started, usually 8 o'clock we jump in. Last week, there was almost 100 likes. If we hit 100 likes, we jump into the second half of the next episode. I've never done it before. We've hit 50 likes. If we do 50 likes, we do 30 minutes of the next episode. If we do 100 likes, we do up to the break in the next episode. We've never done it. I don't think it's ever hit 100 likes, at least in live stream, because I think after the fact, some of them have hit 100 likes, like because you could watch them on your own. After we do the live stream, I post them. Either way, we're trying to get record numbers over there. Last week was top 3 biggest we've ever had, so that was awesome. Patreon link in the description below. Hundreds of other shows, hundreds of movies. Check it out. If not, Vox Machina, the Q&A for episodes 1 through 3. I love that image too. Oh my God, they just blew it up on me.
We have some more things to do before this little chunk of the part of the episode is over. We're gonna have some questions.
Great.
Some Q&A.
Cool.
Yeah,
Q&A,
cool.
here we go.
If that's, I mean, if that's
There
okay with
was
you guys,
about
we
3
can
or
just,
4
like, hang
minutes
out if
before
you want.
that.
I don't know if I'm actually allowed to make
But
that
I
call,
want to
but, like,
start from the cue
We can
cards.
we can just hang out.
And there's already an hour
No,
plus
but a
on
question
each
for everyone.
one, so we
In
got
episode
enough
1
content.
of the last season, we got to see Amon in all of its
And I have
glory.
subtitles,
People were
obviously.
alive. Buildings were still up.
I just want to make sure everything's
Yeah, you
running.
know.
I got my
So what
Molly
is it
shirt.
like
Those of
burning
you who
it
don't
all
know,
down
Molly
in this episode.
is great. He's great.
All of that hard work.
From the creator perspective
The
and then
modeling.
from the destroyer
Yeah.
perspective.
Please.
Oh, I mean,
I remember the
when we
dude
did
on the
our
right,
imaginations,
not the guy in the middle.
I did it in their imagination. It was very cathartic.
Really?
I mean, it's hard because like you spend so much time building up something that
The
just,
voice.
fleshed
I know you
out
guys. I think I
and
say
living in your
it
mind.
wrong.
And it was
It's
too
Mbrassel?
good of an opportunity
Mbrassel?
for what we said earlier
Maybe.
about kind of shifting the story.
I know
and
people
just
tell me 500
destroy it
times.
because it completely
It's hard for
changed
me to
the stakes of
remember
the story.
30 shows
So it felt
of
really
characters.
good in a really kind of weird push the bruise way when we first did
I
it.
like the shirt. Oh,
And then now
I like
working
Sam's.
with
It's like
so
almost like
many
a
of
jersey.
these
Where do you
talented
get
people to
that?
bring it to life. It's
Sam's.
even more insane
it's
than
like
I
a
could
football
have ever
jersey
imagined.
of Vox Machina.
And it just, this is so crazy.
I'm sorry, I'm talking over Matt so much. I hear what he's saying.
Nothing makes
That's
sense
blowing me away. It's like I love jerseys. I have
To
like
give you the
30
flip
jerseys.
side, I never thought I'd see like our art director's eyeballs fall out. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Supervising director.
like-
I remember he was on
when
one
we
of
did- when we,
the
like, lost
Q&As
Automatic
last
and
year.
We would go through and like do
I'm gonna
PG
dye my
count,
voice
and
down
we
a
just,
bit.
And then there's obviously reuses from season 1, and now they have to make destroyed versions, and it was a partay of sorts of
I'm starting to remember.
designers,
We
but,
used to get like breakdowns of the
I mean, I can
of
only
the
imagine sitting there and
looks
go, wow, I
and the
took
places.
hours to model that, and now
art.
it's gone.
Yeah.
But
Sketches.
Arthur, who had watched
started
the original
remembering
campaign
things.
and knew this was coming,
okay.
had this in the back of his mind the whole time. So he
We would get a
part of
character
it-
and
he-
see
he
like
knew what was
different
coming.
I think
he knew to prepare himself.
costume
pre-planned
designs.
some stuff.
I like
Yeah.
that
But
the
then
most.
we just went ham in the animatic and were just like, nah, like whatever you're expecting, tenfold, even crazier. Just like,
That's a great asset to have, somebody that knows
got
what's
a
coming, so
sweet
they don't
jacket.
have their heart broken.
I think it looks like something out of like a
Team.
freaking movie.
Like across all the different departments. It's so cool.
Dude on the all the way
What
to
a
the.
perfect
They only
team
do it with a
up
jacket.
of
They only do
you
it with a jacket.
guys
Has a sweet
together,
jacket.
Like the Critical Role team and the Titmouse team, just like Couldn't be a better
I mean,
match.
even just recently,
Mouse.
doing a lot of this over COVID.
Oh, the trinket slippers. Oh my God, they all have the trinket
We've had a few
slippers.
events where we've had the opportunity to finally.
You
meet a lot
guys
of people
told me,
who
I
work on
totally
this
forgot to
on
order them.
All different facets of the production.
I'm so upset.
And finding out that they all followed the original campaign back in the day, and now they get to work on this with us and make it that much cooler. I don't know. It's really
Maybe I'll
special.
turn up Matt a little too, just in case.
For Sam,
I
Travis,
talk
and
too
Matt,
much.
quick question.
It's us.
Please tell us about Thordak the Cinder King.
Oh.
What a regal title.
We gushed about him during the watch along, but like I think a big deal was.
I
Lance
feel
Reddick.
like that's for
His
sale,
voice
and I
is
literally want to look right now
incredible, and
before I
he really
forget.
Threw himself
I'm
into
writing
the
it down for
character. He gets
myself.
all sweaty and into it when he
Thordak.
records.
He does.
The
have a pad
design
here
was
right
super
next.
cool.
Vox jersey and
we
trinket
have-
slippers.
oh, is that
Vox
later?
We do.
It'll be
jersey.
soon.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
we'll see
we're
it.
going to show some early
Multiple
designs.
iterations of designs and playing with
Slips.
features and horns and
I'll own
and
those
all
later
sorts of
tonight
things.
on
And
Fox
obviously
Kids.
the crystal at the center of the chef.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
was
see, there
such
we
a
go.
big part of
Oh,
it.
we
But
got
I mean,
all of them.
It wasn't just Thordak. We took on all the dragons at the same time, or at least the
Travis,
the last
feel
four
free
after Brimside.
to name all 4 dragons and
Yeah. There's a lot of time
enunciate
spent
it
on
properly.
getting the sizing right. 'cause
look
the
at that. That's
first
pretty
dragon
cool. See
seemed
that
big,
stuff? I love the art.
Oh,
Then we were like bigger.
Yeah, that thing is
The first
massive.
lineup pass after we talked with Matt and was like, you really
All
get
right.
in depth like each.
So he is
dragon's
way
personality
bigger.
And what they are, and I remember Thordak. I remember you mentioned
like,
oh,
he's
very,
bigger than
he's
all
like
combined.
A king, like he has a
Fair enough.
like this arrogance but regality to him.
Yeah.
hence the big horns and all that.
He's the lion of the dragons. He has that kind of prideful, like you said, king.
Raishan.
Yeah.
Raishan was the serpentine.
I said that one right because Matt just said it.
This,
I
like,
feel so special.
slithering, conniving, deceitful creature.
so happy.
Umbersol, I think I described him before,
Umbersol.
a dragon. He's like the shitty weasel.
All right, he just said
smelling,
Umbersol.
like-
It's not bra.
This oily,
it's bra.
nasty dragon.
Umbersol.
Not your fault,
Like
Florida. We got some
bra,
love for you. It's okay.
not bra.
I'm from there. I
bra.
can say that. And then
Got
Varugol
it.
was,
Now
is,
you
is
guys-
the bulldog. He's
Yeah.
the beast, the hunter.
Right.
The least of the intelligence,
Thank
of
you,
the dragons,
Matt.
but the one that's like.
Look at Matt's
eager to
pants, too.
hunt,
I want
eager to
all
chase
of their
down,
clothes.
To play with its food before it eats it type scenario.
And big shout out to Christine and Beyond who did the
Yes.
concept. That
Oh.
was all the
Matt's
visual concepts.
shirt.
They really.
Why do I
Once
feel like
she
my arm
solidified
is
those
slightly lower than
visuals,
the other?
like,
Oh,
we were able
it
to
was
just like
off.
push them story.
I was like
narratively,
something. I keep
action
looking and my
set pieces. It
arm
just
looks
kept
like it's
growing
like
and
I
growing,
look like I'm
so
hunched to
That was
one
a very
side.
big pivotal moment in our process, to figure out how these dragons work and what they're going to do.
So cool. I love dragons. Speaking of dragons,
Is
Matt,
that the
I have a question
Knights
for
of
you.
Avalier?
So in the previous season, we got to see
Wasn't
some
that-
behind the scenes of the Briarwoods and their backseat dealings and what we didn't get to see during the campaign.
Don't mind
How
me,
do you
guys.
see
I
that
also smoked
with
a
dragons?
shitload of weed
So
and
how
had
is it
like a
feeling
crazy
like that you're
workout.
actually
So
getting
I'm
to
like
explain more
riding
of their
high.
backstory that we
on
couldn't see
energy.
before?
I think it's one of the
I had,
coolest
like,
parts
3
of doing this
coffees,
series,
did a workout.
from a GM standpoint, is so much of
Took
your
my
game
supplements,
is only from the
shut-
player's
I'm-
perspective.
and then smoked
so,
a shitload of weed.
on one hand, to make sure that the story feels complete, there's a little bit of trying to find ways that you can showcase narrative moments that they're not a part of that feels natural, to the point where they can still kind of tie the story together. But now that we have with animation the capability of doing any sort of sequence we want to without the player's perspective, we get to really dig into those relationships. We get to take moments and see their dynamics. We get to see the reasons that they're doing things in advance and then watch how it unfolds. We can see their relationships
volume might
change through
adjust.
the actions
I
of
feel like
the
Matt is
heroes and
quiet.
even the villains as it progresses, and how like, things can become fraught, things can become stronger. Just it's really, really exciting to do that and ask
I
questions
just realized
about
we got
things that we
all
haven't
the
thought of in a
dudes
few
on.
years and be like,
They probably
oh,
said
right,
that
I have my
earlier.
notes somewhere, or like I don't think we ever got around to that. What would work to fill this gap? And we all get to collaborate and kind of like build it from there, and it's freaking cool.
So cool. How many notes did you have to pull up from ages ago?
Oh yeah, I still got it on my Dropbox.
Really?
Oh yeah, I got every single document for my every single episode prep from the first campaign, even the home game. I still have all those.
Wow. You
So-
were one of the most
Look at
organized
Sam.
GMs I've ever met in my life.
You say that, but then you go back and read them, and like this is the scrawlings of a mad. like they weren't designed to be
very, very
consumed.
tiny,
Gotcha.
tiny, but like
Yeah, I go back and I'm like,
Yeah, it just says big dragon is big.
yeah, over and over again.
So if anybody else actually read it, we'd be like, I have no idea what's going
Big
on.
dragon
Only you
is
can translate it.
Certifiable. That's why I don't show anybody.
Makes sense, makes
Thieves
sense.
can't, yes.
He's fine, everyone.
I just have to write one more
Sunil,
thing.
one of our guests of honor, I have a question for you, if you don't mind.
Yes.
So, as the voice of the gloriously beloved Sean Gilmore for season 1 and season
Gilmore.
2,
I should have
tell
wore
us
my
what it's like
robe, but
bringing
I
this
did all
iconic
last week.
character to life.
Oh, why, hello.
Also available in the Critical Role store.
There you go.
That's what I'm here for.
Thank you.
That's what
There
I'm
you
here
go.
for. So are the slippers.
The slippers.
We should have
They just said it.
Fight
That
Club
they-
IKEA,
I wonder how much the
Hashtag
jersey is
Bottom,
right now.
yeah.
I'm gonna look it up and be rude and play on my phone.
1-800.
I have to know. I'm very curious. Vox
You know,
Machina jersey.
this role is just a ridiculous amount of fun.
I
It's
love-
just a ridiculous amount of fun. And when Matt told me about it, I
I'm listening.
described
I'm
Gilmore.
not ignoring him.
I was like, and he showed me a picture, and I was like, yeah, this. I looked in the mirror, and I was like, looked
I
at the
don't
picture. I'm
see
like, I
it.
think I got this. It's like,
I can't find it.
Gilmore.
Gilmore.
Ooh.
Early
the early
concept art.
his
Concept.
personality.
Early concept art.
Is very
I-
hand in glove for me.
I feel like the
Not-
full
not
left
a lot,
one
not
is a
stretch.
big pot
Everybody
belly,
gets
or
there,
not
because
big,
Matt
but
had
I mean
said,
he's got a
like,
belly.
actually
Oh,
saw
he's
a
getting
little bit
bigger
more
by
of a
the minute.
glorious dad bod, a little bit more of a belly
Glorious
on him.
dad
A
bod.
little more heft
Yep.
to him.
I also love
There
that
one
his
all the way to
V-neck
the
back
right in the
there.
previous
Oh, yeah.
one. He was
Sure,
like
I love that.
skinny.
He's beautiful, but like
I feel
want
like
him
He
to be-
loves himself.
Yeah.
I feel like
Loves
he, yeah.
himself.
I feel like
He's
it
a
works.
perfect example of somebody who shows that you can you can be the most beautiful person of this and not in the classic Hollywood idea.
I
of who he
agree.
is.
I
And
think Gilmore looks
fucking
glorious.
gorgeous. And I love it.
Glorious.
It's huge, right? Like, I mean, and that's all.
He makes
it's
it
all
work.
about just.
He probably
he loves
eats a
himself
lot.
and everyone.
I know
and
people
some
like
people
that.
love others.
I mean, hey, I got a
And,
belly.
you
I got.
know, and it's like-
I'm not
and
in the
that's what
greatest of
is
shape
so,
of recent years.
attractive
I always have
about
like a
him,
beer
right?
belly.
And so that just confidence is not even enough or the right word. It's just it's really a self-love. So
Yeah.
you know,
He also has such a positivity to him. Even with a building falling on him, he's still cracking
he's
jokes.
still like, you know, I got
Even with the
time for
building.
this.
Yeah. Look, if I might die, I'm gonna
I feel
go-
like by
I'm
the
gonna
time
go
you
out
hit
and
your
kill somebody.
gotta
late
finish this
30s,
correctly.
early
Yeah.
40s,
All right.
you basically just have a dad bod
trying.
almost.
I'm trying.
Unless you like, I still try to work out and do
One
things,
more time.
but I think it's like just too hard to catch up
I'm
once you
dying.
hit
The least you can
mid-age.
do is whip it out. Come on.
Because 40
Yeah,
is
so I can relate
probably
to that, too.
close to middle age. Let's be honest.
We all have a little
And I'm
Gilmore in
41.
us. Get
Yes,
it?
We should.
Oh God. I'm so sorry. Question for Sung-Jin.
Yes.
I feel like
There
we've been
are a
very,
lot of
even though they're
interesting
joking around,
gory
I feel like we've been very
in episode 1.
timid
Are there
compared
any
to
that
last
as
year
the
with
supervising director
the
you're
language and
particularly
stuff.
Proud of?
I remember lots of
tough question, 'cause
very
there's so
inappropriate
many gory
conversations
moments.
with Mika Burton.
Gory moments. You know, I would say like, of course, Thordak's moment with the jets and how he just destroys the whole castle in like one power move. You know, like
Shot a
that was
blast.
just even when we
Straight
drew
through
it,
him.
we were just
world.
kind of like,
Or the
wow, that's
castle.
actually pretty cool. You know, the immediate reaction, right? Like, so yeah, I think that was an iconic moment. And yeah, you know, and Young, who is the episode director, he's always about cranking the action, cranking the drama, really
My
going
water
big.
smells
So,
smoky,
like really proud
aged
of that
bourbon.
specific moment. You know.
You know what's crazy? Speaking of that moment, we have an animatic of that moment that we would like to share.
I wonder if
with
I
everybody
drank
watching at
bourbon
home.
and then drank this.
Take it away.
It literally has like this smoky, great smoky smell.
Monument shall fall, your civilization erased.
Yeah, that was awesome. I seen something similar in Godzilla, but not the side blast. Godzilla, was it the most recent or was it Shin Godzilla? Where it went like, and it did this, kinda. It didn't blow through a world, or I keep calling it a world. It's like a mountain region of castle. Looks pretty damn close to what I'm seeing in the sketches. It's funny how, I mean, a lot of it is spot on accurate, even the placement of the rocks. Looks so beautiful. I can't wait for tonight. We're having like a full day of Vox Machina, unintentionally. I woke up and I'm like, let's do the Q&As.
Hear me, insects. You live out of mercy. Fight or flee, and you forfeit that mercy.
They even have the cast,
Age is
or
upon
the
you.
sling.
The rule of the Chroma Conclave.
The Chroma Conclave. Love it. Looks great. Look at even the acid. They differentiate with the colors. The people are purplish blue.
Dragons are were so cool, you guys.
So cool.
Quite wonderful.
It was
We have great
faithful to the
dragon
boards,
content
to
coming
the
out. House of the
animatic.
Dragon
It's pretty
season
great.
2 is
It's really
this
cool
summer.
to see as somebody who knows nothing about animation.
Lots of
behind the
dragon
scenes,
stuff. I
they
like
go
it.
from the boards to the animatic to what we saw, which is just so polished and so gorgeous. You wonder, like, what are the steps in between the sketches and that?
Yeah,
I'm assuming a lot.
Mind-boggling.
Yeah, there's a good amount of steps, but like I think the milestones are like even before drawing, it was just words on paper, and before that, it was just words in a room.
Yeah.
like,
In his
Well,
head.
you know, so that evolution, that growth is just.
Yeah.
It's.
I
still-
mean, it
even
is
though I've
quite
been working
remarkable.
in the industry for a
I
while,
want
still
trinket
amazing,
slippers,
that process.
honestly. And that I can't get it out of my head now. The Knights of Avalier. It is Knights of Avalier. The first Knight of
Quite
Avalier. I
glorious.
apologize. That is
Oh, he's that.
Evandrin.
Oh my God.
Evandrin with an E.
Big mistake giving
Vandrin's from
Sunil a
campaign 2.
catchphrase.
Learn your lesson.
Well,
Xerxes
I think that does it for our
became
Q&A
it.
portion.
for the
then
first
did.
For the first one, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
don't
we have,
turn off
we have
the
so
TV.
much. We have so much more to go.
Yeah, the TV.
TV.
Do people watch this on TV?
I monitor.
Turn that
I'm watching it
dial.
on a
Remember when
monitor.
TVs had dials?
I'm not
I
watching
don't.
it on my
I wasn't alive
phone.
then. But Sunil, thank you so much for
I mean, is
joining us.
anything a
Oh my
TV
God,
anymore?
so much fun.
I
Appreciate
call
having
them
you.
monitors now.
And I just,
To-
I'm still so
TVs
impressed
to
that
me
your
are
shirt just
when they have
really matches the couch.
I don't know how that happened.
It's
chassis.
magical.
I am
Become natural.
Yeah. It
Once
really
they
does.
stop
happens.
doing
Well, we're
chassis
unfortunately
and
gonna say goodbye
CRTs and
for
stuff
now,
like
But
that,
it truly has been. Wait.
flat screens or
Glorious.
monitors to me.
For having you on the show. Look, I'm so sorry, everybody. I just,
Unabashed.
yeah. But anyway, thank you so much. Everybody clap.
I think it's funny. I said this last year too. I think it's funny. Take care, Gilmore. It was great talking to you. I'll see you next time.
Love you.
Look, we got a little Gilmore statue in the back. Take care.
But again, do not stray too far because after we watch episode 2, we are doing another Q&A and
Gilmore
answering
leaves us.
more
He was
questions
only
from
good
the
for
Twitch
episode
chat,
1.
So make sure you ask some questions, and perhaps we'll have a few questions for our new special guest, Wilfred L, the voice of the show.
Eric from Boy Meets World just magically appeared in the middle of the couch.
Are you,
purple couch.
are you comfortable?
I
Or-
only know this because somebody sent
I feel a
me
little bit like I'm sunk in.
a
which is
comparison
nice.
video.
Nice, yeah. Really
And I
good
was like,
company,
holy shit,
you
that's
know?
Eric
Yeah.
from Boy
All
Meets
right.
World.
Well, now that you're all
I
settled
used to
and-
watch
and
that show
sunken,
religiously.
let's dive into episode
Topanga
2 of The Legend of
was a
Vox
favorite.
Machina, The Trials of Vasselheim.
I was more of a fan of Ryder Strong. Ryder Strong was the friend. The Trials of
No, because
Vasselheim.
we have some questions.
Yes.
Are you guys ready?
Hit us.
I'm excited for
Heck
the.
yeah,
All
we
right.
are.
Well, this is, as always, we have to start with a question for everyone. What is it like bringing the oldest city in Alexandria, Vasselheim, to life?
I mean, cool. Literally, it's a very cold place. No, it was so funny because in my head I
It's
had
so
the
weird.
layout,
Some of, like,
of what I wanted.
Even
like,
Ashley
there it is.
Johnson being
And
connected to
then when we
80s
first started
sitcoms
these
and
early
stuff.
discussions of season
So
2,
weird
Arthur
having
Loftus,
these
once
people
again, was
throughout my life be
I
part
have
of this.
I had this idea.
That
in
was
my
like
head.
the
I did a quick
80s with
sketch,
Ashley
and He sends
Johnson.
me this art piece that looks
the
incredible
90s.
already, and I'm like, you motherfucker! like,
And color.
yeah, there.
Strips and
And was
It
like some
reminds me
napkin.
so much
Super
of like
minor tweaks.
Minas
It
Tirith
was
or
like,
something
yeah,
like
well,
that.
Yeah, the quadrants is to sit here, and these are the different regions and why they exist, and the birth heart is at the base of the mountain. Like, but he already kind of ran with what I explained in the campaign, and it was very minor notes at that point. And then just watching each stage was like,
I have
all
heard
right, you guys
so
got
little
this.
out of Sam
Yeah, I
Riegel.
like it too because it's different from
As he
Amon,
speaks.
It's different from Whitestone. It has
I
a much
thank you,
different
Sam
layout
Riegel.
and feel to it
Travis
in some
too. The
ways,
two
but
up
it's still
top have
epic
been very
and
silent. I feel like
grandiose.
the couch is all the talk
but-
right now.
But yeah, it just sort of evokes something new.
So cool.
Yeah, I wish we just had more time to explore it. I guess we'll have to come back in future seasons.
Oh. Matt, how
Oh,
long did it take you
no.
back in the day to dream up the city of Vasselheim?
Vasselheim was probably, I think it was actually on a plane flight. I think it was on a plane flight over 4 hours.
Wow. And did you sketch it out, or was it just kind of like a brain blast?
I
No,
feel
it
like
was
it's a
brain blast of
combination
different regions, and then I got home. I
of
kind of
Minas
sketched out the
Tirith
general
and something
layout,
else.
but, like, it was mostly
Obviously,
just kind of
things are
defining
going to get taken
who had
from
to be
other
there,
things
what,
by default.
you know, what
You can only
factions and which
change shit up
deities
so
are best
much
represented in this particular
in
place.
fantasy realms.
So kind of like lorded over the city when its original construction and kind of held their ground. And like all the deities are represented, but there are the major ones that kind of hold the city as their main space.
and then kind of figure out where made sense from like where civilization had begun and how it.
I love
expand from
Gilmore is
there.
just in the middle, like
And then,
like
and then
poses
Arthur
his
going,
dance.
"Hey, look, I made it even
I want
cooler."
one. I want all of it. I want everything they're
okay.
wearing
Yeah,
in
thanks,
the
man.
room. I want that
You're
reconstructed in
really
my
good at
house.
SimCity.
Axe
I
included.
was.
Yeah.
And then destroying everything in SimCity too.
Well, there's
SimCity.
clearly a trend here.
That was a big deal for me. I played all the Sims from
Where does
SimCity
Cloud
on,
Strike come
from
from?
NES
Oh,
to
you
Super
know,
Nintendo.
ale.
But how much fun was it to be in the VO booth going through that fight with the Earthbreaker Groon?
It was amazing. It was so good. I love.
We better
doing
get
fight
Gruen
reactions. They're like, give us 3, and I'll do like 13, just because I want variety. And to me, like I grew up such a DBZ fan. Like
Never
the
seen
fights
it.
are the thing that I relish.
I know
most,
the
so I have to
characters
have, like,
just by
specific
living a life,
reactions
but I've
to
never
chest
seen
or
Dragon
neck
Ball Z.
or side of the
Couldn't
head.
tell
When
you
you've got, a
much
brick
beyond
house
names.
like this guy. I just wanted it to be clear that Grog was out of his league.
You know you're shredded when you have like the lines above, like below the ribs and
The
above
V.
the abs.
You get the V, like the
Yeah,
Usher.
hieroglyphs have obliques.
Me,
Yeah.
growing up,
Abs
Usher
on
was
abs on
like
abs.
They're fun. They're fun to
the
have.
model of perfection with
yeah.
So
abs
many great
and stuff.
Gruen-
Like that was like
I mean,
90s.
Phil's just going to
I remember
town.
everyone freaking out about Usher.
There we go. That
That's
final
so
design.
cool.
Man, look
But
at
there,
that.
so even some of the early ones had some really interesting facial hair
Yeah.
going on, and
It does. It looks like a video game character.
He
Like,
does.
you want to
Yeah.
play it.
And you always have to
He
have
looks
that
just like
dramatic
Gen.
cloak rip off
Oh, yeah,
where
he
you
has-
see he's ripped.
Yeah, he
Like
has to start with it on,
the
and
look
it's like,
itself
round one, he,
overall
like,
looks
throws
like
it off,
Gen
like,
from
it's all,
like
like,
Street
flashes
Fighter,
and
with a
vanishes before he
combination of
starts.
maybe like Akuma,
Absolutely.
like a little bit of
It's so cool.
Akuma.
For our special guest, Will.
Yes.
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Please.
Well,
I had to do
how
like
was
a
it to
huge
work with
job,
Mary
and
again? I know
my
we talked a little bit
shoulders
about
are
it. Clearly,
sore
you
as
guys
hell.
recorded together. You guys developed your characters. They were like
Yeah.
playing together. What was it like?
Mary is my D&D wife.
Aw.
My wife and her
That's
husband
my
in real life are fine
wife.
with that. It's amazing.
My
we-
wife and her husband
kind
are
of we
fine with
teamed
that.
up, when we were actually during the campaign, and so we loved playing off each other, and we kind of then developed our characters together.
Oh my
And
God,
even when
he
we,
sounds
this is how-
different,
How nerdy.
and
we
now
got
he
with it,
looks
is even when
older,
we weren't in the
which he
campaign, we
would
were calling
get
each
older.
other and coming up with
That's a
story
thing.
ideas for our characters. So it was. I mean, that's how much fun we were having. It meant so much to us. And then we started our own home game. So yeah, it was.
I get the same
it was great.
thing.
It
The
was like
bags under my
being-
eyes. I feel like I have aged
That's so precious.
worse than Eric.
Sam,
oh hi.
Asisa dressed down every member of Vox Machina pretty brutally, bringing their insecurities and fears into light. Tell us about how choosing that trial for the member of the team came into the writer's room, and if you can give us a little bit of insight on Scanlan's response. Yeah, issues.
I mean, as
Scanlan.
Travis was saying
The
before,
Scan Man.
we wanted to move away from just like a simple riddle because that's not as
My
visually
apologies. That
exciting.
wasn't
But
me.
in one of the earliest versions of the pilot of this series, we had written sort of a sequence where all of the team either gets hit with some sort of gas or
I'm not gonna lie.
or some
The
sort of
Amazon
attack
Prime
that sort of
thing
draws
on
out
the
their
other
worst
sleeve is
fears
the
and
only thing that
insecurities.
annoys me.
And we changed.
I
we
want it to
changed
be
the
like
pilot,
all
script
Critical
so
Role.
that it wasn't in there.
I
but we knew we wanted
understand
to do
it's
that
their
at some
show.
point in the series, and so
But I don't
this
want
felt
Prime
like a
on
really
my
cool
jersey.
opportunity. She's an all-knowing entity, and so of course she's going to pick up on things that maybe they don't even know about themselves. And so we thought it would be a really cool way of digging in and revealing things about our characters that the audience doesn't know yet, or that our characters
Very
don't know
cat-like.
yet.
The bottom one, very
And
feline.
what
Well,
she
they're both
discovers about
feline.
Scanlan, that like basically nobody gives a shit about you. That's just the worst. It's the worst.
These are
He's a
interesting.
bard,
The
he's a-
tiaras
he's
are
a
different. Look at that
performer,
one. It
and
has
if
it go
nobody
up the
really
wings.
Cares, that's like death to him. These designs, by the way, for Osisa, all incredible.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we went with a slimmer.
Yeah, some of those
Osisa
were
because,
beefy. Some of them looked
well,
like
for reasons.
slender cats.
For
Some looked
reasons.
like
There might
lions
be
or
other-
tigers.
Other similar
or bears.
creatures.
Oh my!
Like,
Yes.
When
Down
we
the
were
road.
when we were first approached with this whole Sphinx design, the first thing is like, oh, it's like a lion's body and like some other kind of head, and then the final design is actually a result of like, well, it has to be CG, and we don't know if we could do fur in CG.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
like
we shifted this more
Pokemon,
like stone, metallic
Detective
kind of,
Pikachu,
like,
they did a great
like
job with fur
visual
on
motif.
CGI,
And then once again,
but it's
Christine
probably
Bjorn,
expensive.
Who's kind of like our resident like just
monster
monster
concept
concept
I mean,
artist, like,
do what's in your
she
budget.
really,
I feel like that
started
kind
getting that
of.
motif down really well. So
I mean,
This
I
would
thought
fit
it looked
her voice as
amazing.
well,
I
because instead
said,
of a lion
big
body,
fan
it's
of
like a
Neverending
panther
Story.
body.
Reminded me
She
of
has
the
that,
Southern
like,
Oracle.
Sultry but
I even did a
terrifying
separate
tone
video
to
with
her
the
voice,
Southern
so, like,
Oracle image.
the lack of fur really helped. It looked really good. And speaking of designs and concepts, we kind of touched on it a little bit, but Sungjin, I want to know what it was like for you guys designing the vestiges.
See, they're
of
very
divergence
appropriate
and
this year.
portraying
Go
the
back and watch
calamity. So
last
what
year's
was it-
Q&A.
What did it take?
There were like
translating what
dick
Matt
jokes every 5
has cooked up
seconds,
in his
and it was
devious
like
mind
I loved it,
to
but it was
making
like
that beautiful art.
very
yeah, I mean, personally,
unorthodox
I kinda
for
learned
at a
lot,
Q&A
you know.
compared to this. This
You
is
know,
like
to be
so
honest, I wasn't aware
proper
of the campaign
compared to the
before.
other
I'm like
one.
learning as we
I
go,
kinda
as
miss
making the
the
show,
dick
which is
jokes.
kind of like my
Get
own
Laura
unique
out here.
experience, and I really appreciate it. So like, you know, I was learning. I was like, what are vestiges?
we had like little minor workshops where it was like get a bunch of the teams on Zoom and be like, all right, Matt, go. Okay, so first there was the founding, and then like do these little like
my
take
eyes
notes,
kept like wider,
yeah.
like what?
Yeah.
But yeah, we knew when she.
I'm wondering
goes
if we're
into
gonna
the
get
whole, like,
another guest
lore
on
and
episode
storytime
3,
mode,
'cause
we definitely wanted like different
Eric
unique visual
was in both
style
episodes,
portrayed
I feel like.
to really capture the essence of like this was before our time, like very far back in the past, like when deities and such walked the earth and stuff, or the planet. So we hope that the final rendition kind of gives that sense of wonderment, but also like intangibility, because it doesn't exist in our current like presence, you know?
Yeah, that, amazing. That was definitely one of the interesting discussions, was how to make it feel ethereal.
I don't know how
historical, but
Matt's
also
outfit works,
so
but it does.
different from
the
something that
pants
you
with
can
the
visualize
shirt with
as,
the red
physically,
and the vest
like a
and
memory
the I mean,
of the past,
he
if you
looks
will. And as
like
soon as some of
like
the
if we didn't know Matt
concepts came back
Mercer
and we got
and
to,
I just
like,
saw him for the first
it
time,
was
I
already
would
kind of a fun thread of,
maybe
like, ooh,
think
that's
he was
interesting.
crazy.
It gets the vibe we got
But he
going
might
with that,
be.
run with that, and
I
just
don't
the
know.
reiteration, it
I
got
still
better
love
and
him.
better.
The feeling of star stuff and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's just so great.
This also kind of reminds me of like a children's book, with the bright colors and like the just the simple pictures and concepts. But
If you never want your child to sleep again.
yes, if you never want your child to sleep again. Right.
Simple for Vox Machina.
Traumatizing
Like, myths
nature
turn
of
into
everything.
tales, turn into children's stories. So it just kind of reminded me of like a simple,
Sorry, I'm getting
a simple
work
boiled
text.
down
I just had to
version
make
of,
sure
the
the
beginning
place
time
wasn't
or
burning
whatever.
down.
Well, you consider like so much mythology is represented in constellations, and historical things are seen in the sky and the stars as memories, as visualizations carried from generation to generation of what came before. From
And
the
as
story.
Mufasa says, all the great kings are in the sky, and the
Exactly.
stars.
Yeah.
Mufasa. Sex. Yes,
Way
that
back,
is when
that's
you
way
see
back.
it.
Yep.
Find your
Look at
way.
that reference. That is when you see sex in the sky, and then it dissipates. And then Mufasa nods.
But to that point, it was
says-
kind of that star stuff inspiration, the constellation inspiration that those original designs came back from, and I think that thread ended up working really well for that sequence.
Constellation inspiration.
The Matt Mercer story.
That's another band name.
Another
by the way.
Hey, they should
Constellation
Along
Inspiration.
with,
patent that
Vesti-
name.
vestibule?
I don't know if you can patent a name. Probably not. But
There's something about booty cheeks. Oh, scoops of booty cheeks. Was it?
what was it?
Ice cream-
Constellation
what was it?
fascination. What was
There's
it?
no
I already forgot it.
Booty scoops.
So I can't steal
That's what it was.
Booty scoops. We're all booty scoops.
That was the initial one.
Yeah. Now
It was magical booty.
magical booty scoops.
might have
That's what
been.
it was.
Well, the internet will correct us anyway.
That's true. We'll
figure
get
it out.
tweeted it.
Magical booty scoops. Kind of reminds me of like a Rick and Morty thing.
Don't worry. This is pre-tape, so you can say whatever you
yes.
want. No one will hear it.
We'll edit
yeah,
it
yeah,
out.
yeah.
We'll edit it
We'll edit it out. Yeah, it's fine. Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
So, Victor, the one and only Victor, the black powder merchant.
Oh my God.
He finally made his Legend of Vox
We
Machina
did a lot
debut. He's
of
a fan
Victor
favorite.
videos.
So
Oh,
Victor's
I
already
think we did 2 Victor
quite a
videos.
cartoon character.
It's not
How
like
is
a
it
lot.
bringing him to life?
Not because he's not a cartoon character, not a whole lot. He's
He
already
didn't really
there.
do much, yeah.
The easiest transition, really. Yeah, I mean, like he had to be in Vesselheim, and we had like conversations of like, where do we fit him in the story? What makes sense where it doesn't like take away from the narrative and the episode.
They
button,
combined
to put it.
The 2
but
videos
then
I did were
when we were
comparison
talking about
videos.
designs,
One
we kinda
was like
kept going
kind of
back to my
meeting
Halloween
Victor, and the other was the boom explosion. I think we kind of put them
I
together.
had to like throw all this stuff
Obviously,
together.
we
and it
don't
was
have time to keep going with Victor.
And so we just
all
like
over
handed
the
that
place.
to the art team. And they did this art. I was like, I love this because not only does it look amazing, but also kind of like looks like King Boomy, which I'm totally here for.
That's literally what I said,
And,
100%.
yeah, it was
What did I?
When you did that when I was
I might have
there,
said
saw you
somebody
do it
else.
live
King
from 5 feet
Boomy is
away.
who I
Liam
was
stood up
thinking.
and gave you a standing ovation.
I might have said somebody else, but I was thinking Boomy from Avatar.
The best work you'll ever do.
It was amazing.
Pack it up right now. That's it.
Amazing.
I've never been happier to be going downhill ever since. That's my peak.
To peak. Yeah,
What a
exactly.
legacy, man.
What a place to peak.
The Emmy goes
It looked
to-
spot on. I literally thought they were
Learn
like
from
straight
my
up referencing Boomy.
Give an award speech, you have.
I
to do
reacted
this
to that on the
picture.
channel for the first time
yes.
like a year ago.
Well, you
Full,
heard it here.
all 3 books of Avatar.
All right,
on the
everybody, you heard
Patreon.
it here first. We need Legends of Vox Machina to win an Emmy.
That's right.
So Matt has to go up and give the
I
acceptance
would love it.
speech
That'd be
with the Victor
amazing.
voice.
All you Emmy winners.
You heard it here.
Yes.
It has to happen. Campaign. Hashtag
Could you imagine
Legends of Vox
if he
Machina for the
accepted an
Emmys.
Emmy
We have
as
a whole
Victor?
year.
That'd be pretty
Let's go.
freaking
That's
hilarious.
true. Shit.
Everyone-
We're
I
gonna
mean,
workshop it, all right?
If it
We're
was,
gonna get
if
this
it won an
together.
Emmy, I feel like
We
a
have
good
few
number of
questions
people
from
would
chat.
get the
Oh, no, it's
reference.
happening, Matt. It's happening.
Because it'd be
I'm so
pretty
sorry.
damn
Chat
popular. I mean, it already is.
Sung
Can't
Jin.
explain to anybody what
Someone
you do.
told
No,
me
no,
have to get up and
no,
do
you
it
just
is
have to get up and do
currently
it.
or
Oh, you're
was
just
currently
explaining
at
what the show
100%
is.
Rotten
It's long,
Tomatoes
so no, it's
for
even
like
great.
a while. Maybe still is.
Sung Jin, the chat really wants to know about the colors this season because they are so absolutely striking. Can you tell us about how you chose to light certain scenes for the mood?
I thought the question was going to be, the chat wants to know about colors. Can you name all the colors that we use?
Could you
How
name all of the
Magenta,
colors?
cyan, aquamarine. No, I would say that was a big evolution. You know, like season 1 was an experience and was great, but we like learned and we want to keep pushing ourselves. So again, color scripts are a big play for season 2, and you know, it starts from like. Even when I'm sitting with the directors, we're reading the script, and we're like, okay, this sequence, we're already kind of brainstorming in boards. It's gonna be, we're gonna have like lighting from the window, cast shadows on this character, or like it's gonna be dusk and sunset here. Because
I think we're
for
about
something like
halfway
to,
on
you know,
this one. We're
pull
going
off
to jump
something
into
of this scale
another one
for
after
this
this.
kind of a show. Yeah, it takes long planning, even from the earliest stages, and then just a whole team of talented people to like, we have color script painters and then designers. So like, but it all boils down to is narrative. Like, what's the story? What are the characters feeling? And how can the color and lighting really amplify and support all that? So, yeah.
I've learned so much about animation just by hosting this talkback. Like, it's really cool.
I saw red in one of them.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
some red.
I saw green ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about red. Come on, everybody. Let's talk about red for an hour.
Will,
Talk
the
about
chat would like to
green.
know, what was it like to play a more antagonistic character compared to the original campaign when Cash and Zara were more friendly?
It was cool. You know, it was kind of just the thing that was so interesting was you could
First-
tell,
oh.
and it was just all down.
See,
to
I'm getting
writing
thrown
that-
off. I'm
that
like,
they already had.
I'm
their whole
confusing
history and
campaign
story by the
too.
time
I'm
they
like,
first
wait,
met them.
what?
So that was what was so neat. Is
just
then coming
an
in,
idiot.
and then it's
Sorry.
hey, you're coming in our turf. It was. You know, it wasn't. A lot of times you feel like, especially during the campaign, I was being, you know, Cash was being introduced to these characters, whereas in the show it feels like the characters are being introduced to Cash and Zara.
Yes.
So it really, it is. It's
I
now you're
never
on our
heard of
turf,
him
and
prior
what the hell
to
you doing
this.
here?
Obviously,
So it was,
I
it was
never
fun.
seen
I mean,
campaign 1. Those of you who
every
are
time I talk about
new to
creating
this,
Cash, we were sitting
I
at my
went
dinner
right
table,
over campaign 1
and
into
I'm
campaign
rolling,
2
I'm
so I
rolling really
could
high.
react.
And Matt's going, oh,
in-
geez, I don't know what we're gonna do. You keep
genuinely
going. And then we
to
get
the
to
show.
charisma, and I rolled like a 7. And
I don't want
he's like,
spoilers.
oh, thank God. You know, and I went,
some balance.
oh, he's a dick. Like that's
Perfect.
oh, that makes sense now. So wonderful. So yeah, to kind of lean into that, and then the snarky kind of comedy that they wrote was just so great. So yeah, it was a ton of fun.
I dig his
Really crafted
character.
the perfect fuckboy.
Well,
You crafted the
I've
perfect.
never
I mean,
been one
honestly,
of those,
So this was a
I
fun
always say
acting
the
challenge.
only place in the world I'm
Would
ever
agree.
cool is when I'm animated. So it's it was fun to
That's
see
not
it again.
true.
It's just, no, it's
You're
it's
pretty
Will.
cool.
It's true.
That's
Say
true.
thanks.
it's
All
true.
right.
Sam
It is
said
true.
so,
I
so I
was
gotta
just
believe
being
it.
You're having it here right now. It's not animated.
Sam says it
Nobody
almost
likes
like,
me, including them, so it's
like
just fun to be
honestly,
animated.
like,
And animated friends,
clearly
which
he's
you always have
joking, but
friends
I
with.
feel like
Makes
he
sense. Yeah.
is trying to
don't-
make
don't
it look like he's not. Don't touch me! Don't touch me!
Oh my gosh. Matt?
Yes?
We talked a little bit about the Divergence, Calamity, all that cool stuff. What was it like for you seeing that visual?
I've seen all that on the channel. I think that's all on
crux
YouTube.
of everything. It's
Entire
crazy. Yeah.
Calamity.
Once
We
again,
watched
like
it.
you make up a bunch of silly mythology for your friends, and then eventually it grows big. Well, they add to it, and then you're like, oh wow, we're taking this more seriously. Let me expand on it, and then it just develops into something that is so much bigger than you ever thought it would be. And then watching people visualize it, watching it,
At
even
this
like
point,
with what
this is
Brennan
the
and
first set of
Calamity,
3.
our
I don't know
one-shot
if they
was-
announced Mighty
or
Nine
our-
at this
our
point.
short series was last
They
year.
probably
It was incredible to watch
didn't yet?
other people take something
can't
that you
remember. Maybe they did
had
at
kind
that
of
point.
begun the process of creating and then watch it take on a life of its own in the hands of other incredible creative people. And to me, there's nothing more fulfilling than that experience. And this is just an extension of that. And not to spoil anything, but like, this is just the first glimmer of some cool opportunities to get a glance at history.
Ooh, we love history.
I think you just hinted at what I'm talking about.
What does it feel like?
That's what I was
XYZ?
thinking. Like,
it's just well.
the announcement was right around the time of this
dropping.
dropping.
Like in a positive way.
Yeah, but no, consequences of my own actions.
Yeah.
That's
And
really
it's
kind of-
pre-recorded.
I
So I don't
feel
know
like
when
a
they
broken record because
record it.
I'm always like, I'm so grateful, but I am. This is the fact that we get to do any of this is absurd.
Yep.
The fact that we get to do a lot of this is absurd.
Yep.
And the fact that we get to do this with so many incredible people, like just across the board, just wonderful, wonderful people. They're not just talented, but just good-hearted people.
And me.
And you're not part of this.
I'm here too.
Actually, get off the couch. Why are you still here? God.
We're done with you,
I'm
Will.
waiting for my Uber.
We're done with
Yeah,
you.
they're kind of rough around
I know,
here,
I
so I'm
noticed.
sorry.
It's that low rating.
Yeah.
It's that low rating.
They're always wrong. What can I do? Am I supposed to not yell? Come on.
I love the studio. I didn't really take a good look at the back. They got a nice angle on this
He's
shot.
staying. He's staying. He hasn't
right. There is one
seen
episode.
the episode.
the other one.
Yeah.
We need the
Unfortunately, we
views.
have to keep him here. We have one more episode to go tonight. You know, we got to do it.
We're gonna do it.
What is happening?
All right,
here?
we're on
I
episode
feel
3,
like-
so we're
We gotta do it.
We gotta do
2/3
it.
down, my friends.
obligated to
Then
do
we'll
it.
chat, and then
It
we'll
wouldn't be
do
critical if we
4
didn't
through
get
6.
progressively weirder as it went on. So you're doing great.
I was really hoping that this was going to be the day that it was just so professional and like held together. No, right? I know. I just thought maybe if I came at it, you know, I had some coffee, I was ready to go, we could do this. And it's like every time I come into this room, all of my logic is just sucked out of my body.
It's the nerves.
And I just thank you. I love you guys so much.
Look at this, look at this, look at this. Most animated I've seen Sam and Travis today.
We're supposed to turn off the vanity buttons so we don't make assholes of ourselves.
Now they're gone.
They took away all mine.
Oh my God.
Professionalism.
Oh boy.
So everybody cozy up. Possibly, you know, gets a little plushie, a little stuffed animal to hold on to. This is going to be a great episode. It's the 3rd episode of The Legend of Vox Machina of Season 2, The Sunken Tomb. Everything's going to be great. Everything's going to be fine.
Tomb.
Everything's going to be good.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
heard this
really
song
funny.
Is a laugh riot.
Ready? Here's the startup screen of this.
Well, that was uplifting.
Yay.
Dance party.
Dance party. Hey, Matt, wasn't Trinket supposed to despawn? Is that how that works?
Not yet.
Yeah? No? Okay.
Yeah, not yet.
No.
That's right.
Despawn?
Despawn.
Yeah, that requires a certain item.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't know what that
Sorry, I'm
means.
ahead of the game. My
Okay.
bad.
I'm feeling like that is a spoiler,
Well,
and I don't understand it.
Is
So
everybody up for some questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
So
I don't
for
know.
everyone, what was it like to bring
Last
Vex
one,
and
guys,
Vex's
episode
backstory
3.
as a backdrop for Vex's
This is
death?
where
Which
Vex-
on stream was a natural one.
natural one.
I usually answer these questions. You guys go in.
I don't know, it was a tough nut to crack this episode because in the writing of it, because we knew we wanted to reveal some stuff about their past that affected how you viewed their relationship in the present. We knew where it was ending. But honestly, there was a lot of discussion about like, whose episode is it? Is it Vex's episode? Is it Vax's episode? And it turned out to sort of be both.
Ash's episode.
Yeah.
It's sort of in the present. It was
Eric's.
Vex
I know, it's-
realizing something.
I'm gonna
about,
call him Eric, even though it's
about
Will.
their relationship, and in
And
the past, it was
Cash.
sort of Vax realizing something about their relationship,
Right.
and it was a cool like mirror that we got to play with in the structure and stuff, and they both sort of came to realizations at the same point at the end, and it was I don't know, it came out really great. It was hard. It was hard to figure out though at the beginning.
I think it was really artfully done because it's so rare that you see a character conflict be explained and resolved so perfectly. Like if people thought that the relationship between Vex and Vax was a little bit obsessive or a little bit awkward tension, and then it's so obviously explained to the point that are like, oh, clearly that makes sense, and
It
then
was-
your heart
I
gets so
didn't
ripped
think
out
much of it,
during
but
that
it was
realization. It's just
better
a
explained through that.
masterclass of storytelling.
Because it was very,
Like, it was
not,
such a
I wouldn't say
small little
obsessive,
detail.
even though you could say
Usually,
that.
you know,
It was just
in
very,
social media, when you do a flashback, you
very
kind of
strong
transition
bond
into it. But the fact that we consciously
between them.
chose to just hard cut, it was a little abrasive, and it just throws the audience in.
Yeah.
But it's under that whole theme of like we wanted the audience to feel a little uncomfortable throughout this whole episode, to
Why are we
allude
seeing
to.
this?
yeah, like I didn't think anything
But they were
weird
also
was
such
going
artful
on
hard
ever.
cuts because it was like the eye
but
to
it
the
was
eye,
like,
the water
Yeah.
to the rain.
You're very
It was so
protective.
well done, yet
It
jarring.
appeared.
I remember like reading the original.
But it
script
ends up
breakdown and
being
like, if this works, it could be really good.
the
but
opposite.
We'll see if
know.
we can make the
We know.
transition, or it might end up being really messy and a bad idea when it's actually brought to visuals. And then we saw the first like full storyboard like animatic come through, and we were like, oh no,
Well, and
this
to
is
give
gonna work.
To give credit where it's due, Eugene Lee, that final flashback was actually just in front of the weight of that last scene where she's laying there. And as Sunjin said, Eugene cut it up so that the flashback was happening in real time with all of the reactions that we
Yeah.
recorded, and we muted the real time reactions. And it was so heavy to see the heartbreak of that flashback be the thing that was driving the heartbreak of the moment in the
Yeah.
present.
Yeah.
And it was just killer. It was a rough that he first showed us. It was going to go through multiple other iterations and the final animation, and we all sat there afterwards and we went, "Whoa, what the fuck?" So
Yeah.
we knew it was something special then. It was such a special moment in the campaign, and to have it hit like that was amazing.
Can I ask, are you
it like
doing
that,
the
like-
elemental stuff on purpose? Like the first
Bellissimo.
episode was fire. The second episode seemed very earth, and this episode seemed very water.
Yes, that was
Is
definitely
that all
intentional.
being done?
Yes,
Is that all being done on
intentional,
purpose? I feel like it's not.
No.
Really? Yeah, I was gonna say,
So it's going to be air.
that
that's what
makes
I'm
And then
wondering.
the fifth episode
But
is
in all honesty,
Avatar. And it
Avatar.
all comes
But it
together.
But this whole episode was
we have
water.
blood bending.
right.
We have
Yeah.
blood
And Bruce
bending
Willis
and
comes
all
and
sorts
makes
of
out with
goodies.
Keyleth, and then she becomes the fifth element.
The fifth
my God, I
element,
would
that's
love that
become
to
a thing.
happen.
The fifth element.
It wasn't on purpose.
I feel like we're dealing with similar things
But see,
in
here's the thing. If you
campaign
had an
2.
English teacher
Elements.
and you pitched that as
We've
a paper,
talked
you
of the
would've
fifth
gotten an A+.
element kind of thing.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
It's true. The whole
You're
first
watching,
episode was
you
all
need
fire.
to do a
All
paper,
water.
write one about this.
Also acid, also poison.
Yeah, but
and ice.
But the fire.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I get what he's saying.
Maybe they
Mr.
will
Will
be. And
Friedel
maybe there'll be some
is correct.
Avatar core
You could make those
references in episode
connections.
5.
Oh, maybe.
I am in Korra right now. We started The Legend of Korra. I think I'm
Friday.
into episode 3 or
We should finish
I think I started, or I'm gonna start 4.
You still have
Only
to
on
add
Patreon,
on.
Legend of Korra,
You still have to
and
add on.
Avatar.
Dexter.
You gotta go home, man. You gotta get to the office.
Sitting there coloring stuff in. This one's black and white. Just make this one black and white.
Why doesn't Eric get trinket slippers? Give them to him, please.
This is Keela.
Will, we talked a little bit about in episode 2 how Kashaw came to life and everything, but were there any specific touchstones of the character that you had during the campaign that you wanted to make sure were present during the animated show?
No.
Great.
All right, well.
Okay, you know what? We talked about it briefly.
I wish he. I
kind of
mean,
liked that
obviously,
we
he's
kept a
got to
little bit of
answer the
past
question.
Keyleth
I wish
stuff,
he just left it at that.
which I thought
nope,
was kind of nice.
he just
but,
wanted the whole show,
I
just
also
one
the
word
snarkiness.
answers.
I
Nope.
mean, it's just,
Yes.
It was
Nope.
so much fun to play, and I never get to kind of play the asshole. So it was. I mean, I'm one in real life. That's all.
See, he's a good asshole,
Playing
though.
one, animated,
Cashaw
I
is
never
like,
get a chance to do, so.
like they were saying, he's like a
Also,
fuck
when
boy.
we were talking about
He's
the
like,
design, he has
you,
two different eye colors.
you're not
and
probably supposed to love
I think in
him,
the
but you
first
can't help but
design
like
meeting, we
him.
were like, oh, by the way, sorry guys, he has two different eye colors, and I guess somebody was like, really, what? Oh, all right, fine, fine.
Like what are these marks on his arm? Well, he has scars on one arm. But does he have to have them?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's reasons for the.
Oh, see?
Not really, but it's important.
Oh shit! It won't come up in the series, but it's in. Oh shit! So there is reasons behind the look, but we might never
some
know.
outfit options.
Zahara,
Early takes.
Zahara,
cool.
it's
All
Zahara.
those fits are.
Hey, aren't they missing an A?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Zahara?
Impossible choices from both
Zahara?
classes.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
There's one with no tail.
Either way.
Horse variations, hairstyles,
Yeah.
Zahara
facial markings,
and
all
Cashaw.
sorts of cool stuff.
And her
Face
cheekbones
tattoos.
I
are
mean-
always so sharp and beautiful. Just-
And
It looks
Cash
with
is
them.
just sort of-
With them, it's just
set.
they're just
Yeah, he kinda
bulkier
came
or
out-
skinnier.
almost a
Looks
little
like
Wolverine on the top there.
generally
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
look, except that one is the only one with the scars.
What's going on, bub?
Different eye looks for
Well,
Cash.
that's why you're doing it. Yeah.
Not a lot of variety with that though. But they said you got to keep the scars.
He's okay with it.
He must have been attacked by a bear or something. I mean,
Sunken.
probably
The
way
sunken
worse than a
tomb
bear.
itself is an incredibly designed setting where huge shifts occur for the narrative. What did it take to bring the tomb to life?
Oh, I mean, well, first thing was add a lot of dead things in there.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Step one. Step
A lot
oh,
of,
we have
like-
some concept.
Look at that! Look at that!
Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, early on, like when we're interpreting the script and asking Matt what's his place. So this is one of our
I like
concept
that.
designers, Kang Lei. He did
Reminds me
initial
of the-
concepts. And I think when we first saw them, we were
The
like,
Raven
"This
from
is really
Game of
crazy.
Thrones?
You know, it's really cool, but it's like, is it gonna
Three-eyed
work
Raven?
for the tone we want to
With
set?"
the tree.
Yeah.
Because he really took off on the whole like matron theme, like having this tomb have a very strong presence of the matron. You know,
That thing is
just-
wild. I dig it.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
like-
Holy
these
crap.
designs.
I
But
dig it. And it has
was
the
almost in
matron's
danger of
face at the top. That's what we
overshadowing,
saw with
you know, the inside of the
mask-like
tomb, as
look.
well as like maybe other things you want to play with down the road. So I think a lot of these design aesthetics will and have influenced other things down
sunken
the road.
Yeah, a lot
Plus, it was
simpler.
gonna be covered
Yeah,
in
it ended up
water.
being
Exactly.
very
You don't wanna,
basic.
give
Honestly,
give
the
ending away
basic
before you
look
go in.
threw
You
me
walk into
off.
that,
If
you're
it
like,
looked
"Holy shit."
that crazy cool,
That's true.
it would have
definitely
been
like
interesting,
a
but I
thought,
also
'cause
would have
we wanted to, like,
immediately
show
been like,
everybody.
shit's
Oh,
about to go down
By the
in
way,
here.
this was sketched by Eugene Lee, the director.
Very
Like, we were
cool.
talking about, oh, what do they look like? He just did like a quick sketch and
Oh wow.
What were they called? The
and then Phil Barassa,
something with an
you know,
A.
did the final execution.
Ooh, I don't like the fact that they don't have lips.
It does look very much
Yeah,
like Creature from the Black
Yeah.
Lagoon.
But they're very conscious about covering up their genitalia.
Yes.
Yeah,
Can't have
yeah,
your
wow. Their teeth may
twig
be
and
exposed,
berry
but their dicks
showing.
aren't. You know?
Damn missionary.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what's funny though, Mika?
Yeah.
Their dicks are teeth. Yeah.
That's where the lips are.
Yeah. Why?
Well, now
Yeah.
look, Will I think just realized what he said. That's where their lips are, and then he hid his face. Fan artists, we have to do this.
Of a penis
Oh, you
shooting
just
out of a fish
started a
man's
fire
mouth
now. Yes.
And little tiny dicks as teeth. Don't do it.
Here. Why are you like this?
Mika Burton, you just made it reality. But I think she's half. Yeah, they're all like telling you to.
Broken
They're
back.
telling you not to
Oh, no.
by telling you to do
Alright.
it.
Sure.
Sure.
Hashtag tick.
Hashtag, yeah, do it. Sam didn't even say it.
You
Hashtag
go
dick
with Noah.
teeth.
Yeah. All right.
Sam was afraid to say a hashtag because
So we
it's
finally
going
start
to
see
become a
Grog
thing.
Getting influenced by. Oh, am I allowed to say what the sword's name is? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
The
talking
myth-
about it. Okay.
the-
by the Craven Edge.
Oh, Craven Edge. We're
battle.
talking about Craven Edge.
How is it exploring his first?
I thought they were talking about. Oh, that's the next three with
One of my favorite
Mythslayer.
relationships for Grog in the whole show.
Frog and his sword.
Yeah, it's a, an evil blade that talks to him, and it's just getting nothing from the dumbest guy in the group, which is just the best. But it was great recording all the fighting with it because Grog is already a very formidable force, but we had to up the ante with the way that he sounded. So we'd record it and be like, okay, push it even further. What does Dark Grog sound like?
I would love to hear Dark Grog all the
so
time.
that was
but
that was
not
a ton of
actually.
fun, and,
Actually,
we're
I
not-
don't know.
We're not done.
I enjoy the
seeing,
Craven Edge Grog angle,
We're just
but
started.
he just might have killed Pike or
But it's all
really
gonna be
hurt her
super
badly.
wholesome and
yeah.
really funny. And
At the end of
nothing wrong
episode
is gonna
6.
happen.
They do a whole episode.
Spoiler alert if you're not that far. My
My
bad.
Right, it's gonna be amazing. You guys can drive in the carpool lane. You can put the Craven Edge in the passenger seat.
Yep.
I can't wait.
He's an
Craven
instructor
Edge
fighter.
in the passenger seat.
Exactly. He's a terrible sword.
Jitterbug.
Together they make the back-to-back posters.
You put sunglasses on Craven Edge.
Exactly. That's awesome.
Oh no, we all share one brain cell.
I love
this
it.
is horrible.
Yes,
One
have it be
all they need.
80s sitcom.
its own personality.
But what he didn't know was the love that he sought had been right there the whole time.
Aw,
John Hughes did.
that's cute.
This summer, 1986.
John Hughesing, Craven Edge,
Pivoting to
and
something
Grog.
less sunshiny. Matt
Vex
Sam,
Death.
the history of the Matron of Ravens is beginning to unravel and become explored. What was it like translating this really important goddess to screen, and whose idea was it to ensure that the Pervan soul name jokes made it into the
Soul.
show?
Well, I mean, all of us ensured that they got in there, partially because you assholes can't
Pervan
not make
Soul
fun of some of the names.
and
that
the
they
Matron
put
of
in.
Ravens was
Pervan is kind of
one of my
my own
favorite
thing.
Well, it-
Set yourself
parts
up.
of Calamity.
Here's the thing: it's different between writing a name down and then saying it out loud for the first time at the table and going, "Oh no!" Like as you're saying it, like you'll see it in the show. Like I'll say certain phrases or like character names or historical things, and I'll immediately like look to either Sam or Laura and be like, "Did I fuck? I fucked up." Yeah. This is my
wiggle right before
Yeah.
you get to the word. You're like, wait a minute. Oh, it's too late.
Shit.
I've done it so many times. His name is Cole Posse. Oh, is it, Matt?
Cole
Is
Posse.
it Cole Posse?
I don't know that
my
reference.
bane for the next 20 minutes. Yeah, every time.
Cole Posse.
So yeah, it had to be in
I don't
there.
know what that
Like,
one
you know,
is.
As much
That's
as-
gotta be
as
campaign
much as
one
we can
related that I don't
incorporate
know.
Those moments at the table that are like true D&D, giving each other shit, you know, that we can, where it makes sense. And this is one of those perfect examples. So yeah, it could not go in there to some degree.
Also, if I do remember correctly, was there a pedo bear reference?
There might have been. Yes, there
A
might have been.
pedo
Phenomenal.
bear.
Was that organic? Was that at the table, or was that?
That
just
was at the
accident?
table.
That was at the
A
table.
lift
Yeah.
right from the table that went straight into
A
the
lift
show.
right from the
Upset.
table.
Yeah.
Pedo bear.
Gotta
Which
get
means
Get your perv
somewhere
on.
in Exandria,
I heard that
canonically,
one.
there was
Perv
like a
on Soul. Get your
CR13 pedo
perv
bear
on.
creature you have to hunt down.
I don't recall pedo bear.
Obsessed with that.
But no, you should not be. As far as the Matron of Ravens goes, like she represents such an important moment in Exandrian history, and everything about her existence in just the world and her story is very unique to the other gods in the pantheon. But to the story of Vox Machina and some of its key characters, she's very intrinsic, and so treating this with a lot of like care, and the art team and everybody who's come along with this, we know what this means, the weight that's there, and it's been really, really cool to come into these creative rooms and not have to convince everyone why this is important, and everyone is like, oh yeah, no, we're here to give this the due that it deserves.
Yeah.
Super cool.
It's really
I showed these episodes to my kids because I'm not a good parent.
I was just gonna say,
now.
they're little Violet.
My son
How
was
old are
asking,
Sam's
like,
kids?
Oh, they're in this evil goddess's tomb or whatever, and I was like, well, actually, she's not evil.
Yeah.
She's
People had
she's
to
neutral.
say this
And
to
they were
me.
both like, what does that mean? And
I
was
just
like, well,
immediately
Matt has
assumed-
taught us this many times, but like.
But I
the
knew she
passage
wasn't
from life to
100%
death,
evil.
there's
I
nothing
just
evil about
forgot,
it. It's very
basically.
natural. It's very lawful, but it's not.
Yeah, she's just
it's not
going with
evil,
the
it's not
balance
good,
of
it's just sort
nature.
in between, and they were fascinated by it. I'm passing on your lore.
Wow.
I love
I-
that.
Yeah.
And
Did
for
you
the
bring
record,
up
think
the
that's well
alignment
done,
chart? You were like,
Sam.
well,
Because based on
for
the
record,
series
your,
of events
your
and
youngest
Vex
is already primed up to be one of my
looking like
favorite
she was
goth
gonna
children
die and
of
everything,
my life.
you
So
just
I'm
feel
here for it, for
negative
sure.
about
They're
it.
gonna
Well,
be
they've
amazing.
died several times already on the show, so they're.
they're ready. They're ready.
No,
Phylactery-
they're
phylacteries are
phenomenal,
full.
Yeah.
and me and Marisha can't wait to continue to usher them forward into their best
They're
witchy
goth.
self.
They're gothhead.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're gothhood.
We have some questions from chat.
Chat.
I was gonna say, are we
Yeah,
almost
let's
done?
do it.
I feel like it's
Answer some more
almost maybe
questions.
like 5,
Will,
10 more minutes.
yes.
What was it like for you seeing the end of this episode for the first time versus everyone else who knew it was coming?
It was tough. I mean, again, knowing what happened in the campaign, I kind of knew it was coming, but seeing again the whole use of water and the actually hearing the acting, it's pretty wonderful. So, yeah, it was. I'm trying to hold it together. I also can't wait to see the episodes, frankly, which I'm very
Without
excited to
people
do
yakking?
in the privacy of my own home.
No,
I'm
no,
sure I
we're
will break
going to
into
show
tears.
up and talk behind you to make it feel
They're
authentic.
just
You have
following me
to.
around as
Yeah.
I'm trying to watch every episode. No, it's you're surrounded by great actors and writers, and so when you get to see something translated to the screen, it's so good. It's just so good that I can't wait to watch it.
I'm excited for you to check it out.
I can't.
I heard it's a great show.
Stuff on Friday.
We're on Friday.
3 more episodes. 3 more episodes. Travis.
I was gonna
how
say,
many
I
takes
keep waiting
did
for her to
you
go.
do to really
That's
get
it.
that
I'm
yellow
never
sorrow?
speaking to any of you again.
Also, how does it feel to have that beautiful beard now?
Grog's a complete man with that beard.
We just said grow, now
it
we
was
have frog.
hard actually doing all the character design for season 1 with no beard, because we spent the majority of the campaign with him with a beard. So it was hard going like, okay, when does the beard come in? When are we doing this? But we knew we wanted to set it up for progression. And
I love the beard, obviously.
That was a
I've had a
one-take
beard
wonder
for
Scream.
my entire YouTube life.
I didn't plan to
did
hit
grog
those
with the beard.
notes. That wasn't something that I tried to do. I just made a loud jubilant cry, and that happened, and we were like, "That's it.
There it is.
One and done."
You have,
Go ahead.
I was saying you have done incredible things in your time, in your career. You have portrayed characters and narratives and emotional beats and moments that have just, irrevocably changed us as experiencers and consumers of content. This is my favorite thing you've ever done. The unfortunate circumstance of recording
I've
a lot
seen
of
Travis
stuff
at
is
this
we
point
were not
probably
able to do this in a group,
4 or
so a lot of
5
times
different
it wasn't
types of
until either we get to
characters.
the board, like the animatics, or even see the final episodes before we get to
Right,
hear a lot of each
right.
other's performances. And that's one where I didn't get a chance to hear that reaction until we watched the final episode. And I was like, that's it. That's the best part of the season for me.
Mary was recording the session. She's like muted on Zoom. And she comes on. She goes, "What was that?" I'm like, I don't know.
It is what it is.
Having been in the booth with Travis on a number of different projects, he does hit notes that are strange. I actually have a video
Oh, you do.
that
Oh no.
nobody has ever really seen before of Travis doing an old British woman. Is that what you were doing? What?
Sure.
You know what I was?
Sure, Travis is like, I guess you could call it
Guardians of the
that.
Galaxy?
It is. Yeah.
It was some Guardians of the Galaxy, and it was one of the, I
want to
had to
know.
film it because it was like, what the hell is happening right now?
It was remaining scratch for characters, and they were like, "Just do whatever you want." So I was like, "Oh no!"
I just got this video of people going like, there, as we are walking down the street. It was the weird. I was like, filming this.
I kind of want to see this.
Yeah, I will make
I
sure to
would have
send that
loved
video
if they
in.
actually
Thank
got
you so much. I was like,
the
after
video
this
to show us.
ends,
It's
we're gonna have to
phenomenal.
gather
Say,
around your
I
phone.
hope next Q&A they embarrass him with it, but probably not.
hi.
I'll
Zara's
have to
patron
find it
is
on my
the
own.
moon, and her magic is red. Was Zara the first Rudius born we met? Whoa!
Why do I
understand
feel
that
like I
right
saw an A in there? I was wrong this entire time. It's Zara. I think I was saying Zahara.
What a cop out,
As he
Matthew.
touches
I
down,
apologize
Moons,
if I'm wrong,
and
which it appears
she
I am.
represents the duality of
I
the
could have
two.
sworn there was
You
another
notice,
A.
Like she crafted a weapon. In the
I mean,
first
she's not
campaign,
around
that
anymore
Moon-
for probably a
Moonhammer, which was
while.
based in the light of Katha, and then elements of her magic were based in the red energy of Ruda. So she was the duality of the two, not a particular one, but instead the duality of them both in the sky.
That's really cool.
That's
Mo
pretty
secrets.
awesome.
Mo
Mo
she's
secrets,
fun to date.
Mo money,
you
Mo
go.
And
problems.
she's really hot.
And
so
she's really
like,
hot. She's really hot. And
Go
fun to
watch
hang
Mo
out
Money
and
with
great
Damon
at
Wayans.
killing stuff.
It's great stuff.
What are you gonna do?
She's the
Twirl your hair
perfect
like
partner.
a teenage
She
girl?
is. I'm sorry. She's the perfect partner. I'm pretty happy.
I feel like Mo
For
Money
Matt,
came
Sam, and
out
Sungjin,
when Boy Meets
How
World
did you
was
decide
on.
on Matt and Liam voicing Umbrasyl and Vorgel?
Umbrasyl and Vorgel.
Well, we knew that we needed to give Matt some juicy bits in this season. because
Umbrasyl.
his first
Umbrasyl.
character met
Not
an
bra.
untimely end.
Bra.
in season one. It's not the only character that you play in this season. Obviously, we've already seen Victor. We've heard some Craven Edge. We've heard some Umbrasyl.
Umbrasyl.
But yeah, it seemed
I
like
don't.
a
I
nice,
feel like.
juicy.
Am I crazy? I guess we're all
Seek
used to it,
your
or you
dragon
guys are.
people.
I feel like
We're
Umbrasyl
discussing
sounds
like, which NPCs, who to cast as who.
better.
It's a lot of like.
I don't know.
you guys
Maybe because
haven't
I just
told
heard
me
it
to,
that
like,
way
put myself
100
in
times
it.
in my head.
'Cause I just want to
Umbrasyl.
ask other people as the characters
Yeah.
and hear it. And part of it is because like I know I can do decent to some of these characters, but I know other people can do a better job bringing them to life for the series. Umbrasyl was one of those things where I'm like, there'll be some processing on it. Plus, I know I can do this well. And when you guys are talking, I'm like, like pick something, and I'm like, all right, I think I can do Umbrasyl really well. Yeah. And I think with Liam, he just did scratch for it originally.
Yeah, and it was
we
good.
heard the scratch, and we were like, I mean, that's it.
That was a lot of
like-
gristle.
Yeah.
There was a
It's that,
lot of
like,
gristle.
Rally timber. It's so good. And like,
Yeah.
God, Kree's
And
so
all
good.
the main cast, we all end up doing scratch for a lot of the other characters. So for most of the animatic process, it's just the 8 of us basically doing all the voices for all the characters.
Who's Scratch Cash?
Yeah, he does a good impression of you.
I'm Kasha. I'm so cool. And
That's not how he does
hey,
it.
Zara. Hey.
His cash is actually really good. Yeah, it's really good.
I just try to be a dick.
I just try to be a dick.
Oh yes! I love that you. I love that so much. I'm totally releasing that video.
I love that he just found that out live on this show.
Wow! Oh, that's great. So fun.
For everyone, is there a dream guest star you want to voice a character in the future?
I like this question.
many.
Just
But
just
I don't want to say anything.
out of
because
curiosity.
what if they end up on the show. Dream guest star.
I would say it for sure because
you
then I'd
want,
want them.
Sanjay? We'll
Like
go
I
get
feel
'em.
like they'd be like, "Oh, you want me on the show? I'm doing it."
Can we get that guy that voiced young Batman from like the series? Like,
You've already had him.
Oh, baby.
No way.
No way!
What about the guy from Boy Meets World?
Now you've already got him.
Oh,
Lionel from Thundercats.
He's already been here.
Lionel. They're naming all of his
Oh yeah, it's
things.
that Bill Frito guy, right?
Frito.
Yeah, Bill Frito.
Bill
Love
Frito.
him.
He's pretty great.
I can do anything.
no.
It's
I don't
tough.
want to. It's
I know.
tough. I don't want to jinx it because legit, we are casting roles in the next
I
season.
would
And if we
100%
someone
say all the
real
names we
good, I
wanted
feel like
in
I'm gonna
hopes we
jinx
get it.
because we're actually going out to some amazing talent.
Well, you know,
What?
there is this one dude that has, you know, traditionally he's just been on live action television, but he's been in a few animated shows too. He also directs, he's done some sci-fi stuff. He teaches kids how to read, you know.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
I feel like maybe
LB, I think?
LeBron James.
Yes.
Yes.
L. Ron Burton.
L. Ron Burton. L. Ron Hubbard.
Or as everybody tweets at him when he does something wrong, LeVar Ball. Or Lamar. Like,
Are they, is that? I literally was saying. Are they talking about LeVar Burton?
And he's like, I don't
was
play
like,
basketball.
when
I'm
she
so
said
sorry.
teaches kids how to read, I'm like,
Wrong
reading
person on
Rainbow,
Twitter.
LeVar Burton.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Percolating.
It actually was. In my head, I'm like, it can't be LeVar Burton.
Great.
He's down to die super fast.
Are they related? Mika Burton, LeVar Burton. Are they related?
He can be the red shirt.
I just.
Yeah.
What about like James Earl Jones?
Whoa.
We couldn't afford him.
Great. No, we
I
can.
Look,
Maybe he's a big nerd.
That's what I'm
also
saying.
have
Name
an
people. That's why I'm
ex-
trying to.
Wolverine
Like
here. He's a
Sam's like, I'll
Wolverine.
jinx
We went
it.
to the same school,
I
the
would
same
be naming all
program.
sorts of famous people.
So-
Maybe they're nerds at heart and they're like, I'm down. Don't worry about the money. I want to be part of this awesomeness.
you know, we'll just call up our
I would do
University
it.
of Michigan contacts.
I feel like
get
that
them
is
in, you know?
beneficial
Got you.
to name
I
people.
cannot do that.
Like if I was super famous and right now Sam goes, I love Jay
Okay.
on
We'll get him.
Viewmasters Reactions.
Yeah.
I'll do it for free, guys.
background
Even though I'm that
Just
famous.
yell bread, Mr. Jones. There's bread for sale, fish for sale. Thank you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
wasn't worth
I'm a
the
legendary
drive.
actor. This is all you want me to do?
If you do any more musical episodes like Ariana Grande,
Oh.
just throwing it out there,
Okay.
you know?
Do you know her?
No.
Can you give me- Okay.
Was she a
I feel like Ariana
No.
Grande would
know what?
not
She's real
do this
awesome.
for less than like $1 million.
If you're watching, Ariana, have
If
your
you're
people
secretly a
reach out.
critter, Ariana
If you're
Grande,
secretly a critter, though,
let us
you
know.
never know. If these people are secretly fans,
Ariana
This
Vente.
season.
they might do it for free.
Episodes
They
to
might
come
do it
and
for
More
very
songs,
minimal
more
cost.
Scanlan and more songs and
All right, we'll write some and put
Okay.
them in the next batch.
you have
There we go.
72 hours.
Starting now.
Yes.
Well, before this keeps going on a tangent, because I feel like we can be here forever, that is all for tonight's Watcher
That's it,
Party.
guys.
Make sure to join us again next Tuesday, January 31st at 7. Oh my God, are we almost done with January? That is insane.
In 2023.
Yeah, I hate that.
The next
In 7
episode
p.m.
she's
Pacific
speaking
to
of
watch
came
the
out
next 3
this
episodes of
morning,
The
hence
Legend of
why
Vox
I'm watching
Machina,
them both.
Alongside Travis, Sam, Liam, Marisha, and special guests Robbie Damon and Alicia Chan.
That's right.
We got Marisha
One
and two
other
special
thing,
guests.
we can say that for those of you that are still watching, tomorrow morning, if you pay attention to socials, there's going to be a very
big
cool
announcement.
That's the
announcement.
Mighty Nine
Announcement coming
announcement.
out.
So this was
Maybe just, pay
pre-recorded.
attention to social media in the morning.
So we're gonna have some talk about Mighty Nine in the next one. I gotta
You can
assume.
read the newspaper. The
public
following
Okay, good.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
On the big stick.
Yeah.
Good.
I definitely thought you were going to go, you can get fucked. So
I mean,
there's that.
a little bit of column, man. A little bit of column.
You need social media for that nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, valid.
Ooh, boy.
It should be fun.
It should be fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Should be fun.
Well, we'll see you next week. Good night, critters.
Not everybody.
Good night. All right, guys, that's it for the Q&A for episodes 1 through 3 of The Legend of Vox Machina. I wasn't sure, we were talking about it during the episode, if the Mighty Nine had been announced yet. At the end there, they go, tomorrow morning, an announcement is coming. That was for the Mighty Nine animated show. If you guys don't know, why are you not knowing of this? It came out like a week ago. Mighty Nine is the campaign 2 that we've been watching for the last year. So I would have to assume that I am probably past wherever they're going to include the first season of the Mighty Nine. We're about to start episode 50. The live stream is tomorrow night, and there's like 140 something episodes. So I'm more than a third of the way through the campaign. I have to assume that more than encapsulates season 1 of Mighty Nine. Either way, that is the announcement they're talking about. I can't help but think for episodes 4 through 6 Q&A, they're going to talk a great deal about what is to come of that. They said it's everyone we just saw, plus Marisha, minus the other two, Sung Jin and Will Friedle. We also got Gilmore. I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy that does the voice of Gilmore. Love Gilmore, but Gilmore was only in episode 1. So we got him. We did a little talking. We saw some costume designs, and we exited him. Then we saw Cashaw. We got Zahara. Is Zara. I don't know. I have to go back and check. I swore there was an A in there, or maybe I'm just crazy and I thought of it of recent. I mean, she came into the scene with Cashaw. I thought they were going to like dip in the beginning and they were around for 2 episodes, or no, like way more than that. We got them. We're going to get 2 special guests next time. We got what I remembered from last time. As we started watching the Q&A, I started remembering, oh my God, yes, we get concept art. We get designs of different places we've been to, not just the characters themselves. So we see like what they thought they could have looked like, the places. The Matron of Ravens sunken tomb was ridiculous looking, like in a cool way. But I like the more simplistic, basic look they went with, because if you saw that kind of insanity, I said it during the episode, but if you saw that kind of insanity, you'd immediately know, all right, we're going into something crazy, like we got to be prepared. I feel like the fact that it looked so basic, we went in like willy-nilly thinking it's just a cave, even though we know it's more than just a cave. It doesn't appear to be, and it's not intimidating or crazy looking. The other imagery they gave was crazy, awesome, crazy, but also kind of scary and would have probably had us more on our toes. And I like going in undeterred, I guess you'd say. Like, I want to go in with us thinking we're the shit. I don't want us going in like, this is going to get a little, crazy here. Maybe we're going to lose or suffer some damages. Great stuff. I dig it. We're back into the Q&As. I'm going to jump in episode 4 through 6. We only have a couple hours before 7 through 9 comes out at 7 p.m. tonight. I'm going to edit this up, get the other one out. By the time we're done, it's probably an hour or 2 from that. So you guys want to see more of what I do, full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons ahead of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you only see on Patreon. The link is in front of me. If the link doesn't work, it's in the description of every video. Hundreds of movies, hundreds of shows. We just started Peaky Blinders, Doctor Who, Person of Interest, Death Note, Last of Us, The Legend of Vox Machina Season 1 and 2 is up in full. We have the Patreon hour exclusive of every episode of Campaign 2. We're starting episode 50 this week. 49 is the live stream tomorrow. If we get 50 likes, we'll jump into 50. And if we get 100 or more, we'll go to halfway into episode 50. Either way, jump in there. We're trying to build the live streams up to be magnificently huge. Even after The Legend of Vox Machina ends, we run with it. So jump in. If not, comments down below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.